Welcome to our Arizona Revised Statutes video library. I'm Shawnna Riggers, Managing Attorney at Arizona Family Law Attorneys. My goal is to take this somewhat dry information, make it a little bit more entertaining, and also provide you with information regarding the laws that are applicable to dissolution, parenting time, custody, child support cases here in Arizona. This is being filmed in 2023, so it's important that if you're seeing that afterwards, that you double check the statute to make sure that it is the most current version. And if you have any questions regarding any of the material, as always, please feel free to reach out to us here at Arizona Family Law Attorneys, where we provide peace of mind as there is no substitute. 25-215. Liability of community property and separate property for community and separate debts. A. The separate property of a spouse shall not be liable for the separate debts or obligations of the other spouse, absent of the property owner's agreement to the contrary. B. The community property is liable for the premarital separate debts or other liabilities of a spouse incurred after September 1st, 1973, but only to the extent that the value of that spouse's contribution to the community property, which would have been such spouse's separate property if single. C. The community property is liable for a spouse's debts incurred outside of this state during the marriage, which would have been community debts if incurred in this state. D. Except as prohibited in Section 25-214, either spouse may contract debts and otherwise act for the benefit of the community. In an action on such a debt or obligation, the spouses shall be sued jointly, and the debt or obligation shall be satisfied first from the community property and second from the separate property of the spouse contracting the debt or obligation. So why is this important? It means that during the marriage, either spouse can actually take out debt that both spouses are responsible for. Sometimes it can even be determined by the court that if one spouse didn't even know about it, it's still considered a community debt. Sometimes these debts can also be considered community waste, and it's really important that you do seek legal advice to determine that. But for instance, let's say that someone has a credit card from a box store that they didn't tell the other spouse about, but they used it to purchase furnishings or food for the community. Most likely that debt is going to be considered a community debt and will need to be divided.